To I believe this story from Akademiks that Lil Baby paid him 30 bands to not critique his music. And the reason why I believe it, because if you listen to so many ex-music execs kind of speak on rappers and say how lazy they are and they really don't kind of want to put in work or build relationships with people in the hip-hop media space or radio personalities or whatever the case may be, because to me, the smarter thing would be, instead of paying Akademiks 30 bands, man, I see endless people from Atlanta who kind of got motion via TikTok where they building up and hyping up other Atlanta artists. To me, why not pour into those people? You could take, man, you could have stretched that 30 bands probably realistically to maybe like 15 or 30 other actual content creators and kind of help build up their platforms, or you even go visit their platforms and sit here and help big them up. But you paying Akademiks 30 bands. Now he put this story out. Now, realistically, the worst thing it's going to do is going to trickle down because it's going to make other content creators or other streamers see and say, oh, well, I'll probably get more popping and get more money if I'm bashing artists instead of sitting here real live, bigging them up and supporting them. So hearing this kind of like, it sound on point. And you kind of got to give Akademiks credit for building up his platform so much that somebody's willing to pay you 30 bands for you just not to talk about their project at all or not to down talk their project. And that is kind of sad that we live in the space that's what's going on in the hip hop space. But I think, again, if I was Lil Baby, the smarter thing, or if I was on his team, the smarter thing would have been, hey, instead of giving him that 30 bands, let's find some other younger content creators. And let's even go sit down and do an interview with Big Bank, but find some other smaller people in the area or just wherever and go sit in and help build their platform up. Think about if Lil Baby, you see he gave out 30 bands. Imagine if he would have gave us, let's say 10 smaller content creators 3 racks. Bro, you know how appreciative they'll still been told. This Lil Baby project that came out, what, two months or 3 months ago now at this point? No, they still would have literally been talking about that project today. That 3 bands could have helped change their life. And that don't sound like a lot to some people if you just act, if you lying and not living in the real world, you act like those 3 bands to a smaller content creator. That 3 bands would have been way more important than giving Akademiks 30 bands not to talk about your thing. But again, that's, to me, that just sounds, and the reason why I believe it, because it sounds like something a rapper would do. What's the laziest and the easiest way to take out? Oh, let me just pay Akademiks not to talk about my project. Instead of the smaller thing is helping build up 10 other new content creators. So, and then if you go on their platform, like you would have gave them each 3 racks, would have went, gave them a couple times and retweeted or reposted their content and them bigging you up, that would have helped them out 100 times more, and it would have changed the conversation, and that conversation would have lasted 100 times longer than you sitting here giving 30 bands to Akademiks for him not to talk about it. And then one day you do something to kind of piss him off. Now he going on a rant telling everybody that you paid him bread or whatever the case may be. It just completely backfired. You damn near almost wasted 30 bands, and now the conversation is just like a wild conversation, and Akademiks on stream just talking super tough and super crazy, where you could have literally